So we've reached the Super 8 stage of the County Senior Football Championship this weekend with 4 quarter-final contests as well as 2 relegation playoffs to be decided. And Tony Ryan from Dungarvan Observer is back in our Plaza studios to give his predictions. And Tony, tonight's double bill in Fairfield is a good place to start. Balnacourty Kilrossenty is the main event at 8:30. Balnacourty, I suppose, are recovering from that dramatic senior hurling loss to Dungarvan, and Kilrossenty haven't quite hit the heights of last year so far. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, well, Tomas, in fairness to Balnacourty after the hurling match, I think they were back into it straight away with the football, and they played Kilmacthomas in a challenge match, I think, on the Tuesday night after the hurling game. You know, so that's a good sign of the management, a good sign of the players. Before any ball is kicked, you have to fancy Balnacourty, and especially this year as regards Kilrossenty, they haven't come up to the heights that they had last year at all when they got to the county final. And even I think against the Brickies, they limped over the line. I know they were short Martin Dunn and short Paul White, but still they don't look to have the same drive as they had last year. On the other hand, you have Balnacourty then, and I think the last championship game they played could have been last April, because I think they got a walkover from Galtier, you know. So probably have challenge matches in between, but you can't beat championship fair, you know. But all going as we expected to go. You'd expect Balnacourty to move on to the semi-finals. Yeah,
I suppose Kilrossenty are without Darren Mulhern, picked up that unfortunate injury before that qualifier game against Westmeath, and they were missing Martin Dunn and Paul White, as you mentioned the last day. Will you have to have those two back to full fitness and also to top form to stand a chance here?
They would, of course, yeah. And as regards the goal, I think Dwayne Kerwin is in goal. Like he's a good replacement. It isn't just like someone going in, you know, off the bench. You know, Martin Dunn, I heard that he will be back, you know. And I expect Paul White to play as well. That he's playing soccer with Ballan Road, so I don't see any reason why he can't start against Balnacourty, and that's where they need him at the start.
Absolutely, and Portlaw Ardmore is the curtain raiser at 7. Tony, in the first relegation battle, this is familiar territory for both teams. In fact, Portlaw beat Ardmore in this fixture 12 months ago. Who do you fancy here?
Yeah, that's right. I remember that last year. Portlaw beat Ardmore, and then Ardmore beat Dungarvan, so Ardmore survived. You know, the thing that comes against Portlaw is their indiscipline. When things are going against them, if you go behind in a game, they completely lose their discipline. They did the last day against Ryan. If they can hold that, they played hold their discipline. They played a very good against Stradbally, below Lemmy Bryan in the group series. It was one of the best games that Stradbally got. If they can produce a performance like that, they'll have Ardmore under pressure. But on the other side, then Ardmore are enjoying a good season. They're going very well in the hurling, and they'll be very anxious to retain their status at the first opportunity, and then concentrate on the hurling. After that, they're playing Clashmore, I think, in the semi-final the following week.
And they'll be hoping that a couple of their injured players will be back as well. I think Shane Keevers and Kieran Keaton went off the last day against Galtier. Yeah,
they've been a huge plus this year. I think Kieran Keaton is just into the grade from underage. I think Shane is a newcomer. But if the two of those are missing, I think it will come against Ardmore. But they need them to were absolutely outstanding against Clashmore Kinsale-Beg in their group game. And another huge loss would be Niall Hennessy at wing back. I know what kind of an injury he picked up, but he always comes upfield and scores a point, and a very good defender. So if the three of those are back, I fancy Ardmore. And then again, if Portlaw hold their discipline, it could go down to extra time, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. And going back to the quarterfinals then, Tony, Saturday night, back to Fairfield again after the football replay, Stradbally versus Clashmore Kinsale-Beg at 8 o'clock. Looking back the years, Clashmore managed to beat the Reds. I think it was 7 years ago in Dungarvan, but they're going to go into this one now without Tyg de Burke, unfortunately, that cruciate knee ligament injury, and they'll be anxiously waiting on the appeal of the 24-week suspension for Sam Fitzgerald on Saturday morning. Does that kind of weaken their chances of a surprise result here?
I think it does, Tomas. And on top of that then as well, like Conor Coonan has gone off the scene because he has other things to be doing in Cork. You know, and he Clashmore Kinsale-Beg made a lot of progress last year with Coonan in charge. You know, and I was hoping that he'd stay again this year and that the progress will continue. But you'd have to go with Stradbally. Stradbally have been here, they're masters at this scene. You know, in the quarter final, like if they win, how many semi-finals will this be? They have been in since the year 2000. It's just unbelievable. They retained their hurling status last week when they beat the Brickies in the intermediate hurling.
Shane Ahern shooting the lights out.
Shane Ahern, yeah. The talk is he got 415. I mean 415 is a huge amount. You know, so the mood will be upbeat in the Stradbally camp. You know, and they will see this as a game they can win, and then really get down to work for the semi-finals. I expect Stradley to win it.
Yeah, were you impressed by their form in the group stages this year under John Hearn, Tony? I suppose they exited the championship at this stage last year to Kilrossenty.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And the big one this year, of course, was the game against Kilrossenty. And they showed what they're capable of. Now, if they can reproduce that form, they didn't against Portlaw. They were poor enough against Portlaw, even though they won well in the end. But you can see that Hearn has some really trained like racehorses. They're they're going very well under him, and another few former players as well. So I'd say Hearn was the right man for the job at this stage, and I'd say that he will definitely lead them to the semi-final.
And on Sunday afternoon, then there's an all-Eastern clash between Rathgormack and Galtier at 3 o'clock in Kill. How do you see this one panning out?
I think this is Rathgormack's best chance to get back into a semi-final. But then again, we said that about Lismore had the best draw against Mount Sinai in the hurling, and we see what happened there. But watching Galtier a bit this year, you can see that they didn't do very well against the Brickies, and they should have beaten them well, but the Brickies came back at them. So I don't think they're as good and as ready to make a breakthrough as Rathgormack are. Like we're always saying about Rathgormack that when we're going to see the fruits of their under-21 championship wins, the last few years. But I can see this year that there's a progress being made and there's an improvement on them. Likewise in the hurling now, Clonea have secured their status, so it's all football at the moment down below, and it would be surprising if Rathgormack don't win this one.
And back to Fairfield then on Sunday evening, Tony. Bricky Rangers versus Kilmacthomas is the curtain raiser at 5:30 in the second relegation playoff. I suppose Brickies have been great escape artists in recent years. They beat Dungarvan this time last year. What are their prospects against Kilmac here?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, with the Brickies. The one thing I liked about them last week against Kilrossenty was they fought to the very end. They were 9 points down and they only lost by 3. And they shot numerous players, but they're playing with a great spirit and great pride in the jersey. And if they repeat what they did to Kilrossenty, the form against Kilrossenty in the second half, the last day, if they repeat it for the whole game, I think they're in with a shout there. But I also think Kilmac are a team that are going to be in the senior grade for a while. They played they were unlucky against in lots of ways. They were unlucky in their last game when they should have beaten Kilrossenty. Clashmore Kinselbeg. They should have beaten Clashmore Kinselbeg. They had something like 13 wides and they missed a penalty. So they're probably in a better place at the moment than the Brickies. But if they don't turn up on Sunday, I could see the Brickies win. And
then the last of the quarterfinals is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Throw in Tony, Dungarvan versus Onryan. I suppose these two have met in semi-finals in 2014, 2017. Dungarvan have won by a point on both occasions. Can you see this one going to the wire again?
I think this is Onryan's best chance of winning against Dungarvan, but I don't think then that Onryan are as good in the football as they were on those 2 previous occasions. Where they as you say, they brought them down to a point. They haven't been impressing, and they're very much involved in the hurling as well. The problem with Dungarvan, I think, is if the 4 Mile Water kind of form carries on to the football, Dungarvan could be in trouble. In their last game, 4 Mile only had 17 tagged out, and you'd be wondering where's the rest of the players, even though it's not football, where are they and what kind of a team will they have out the next day? Is that the difficulty for them, just trying to park the relegation worries they have on the hurling side of things? Well, many people say that. Look, there's no comparison with the two of them. They're just two different games, 2 different sports and all that. But another big one is will Jimmy Barron be available? But if they go into it with kind of the same attitude as they did the last 2 games, they could be in trouble, and that's county champions. They could be out. So do you have a sneaky feeling for Onryan? If they can improve. They played Portlaw again the last day, and they didn't really impress, But if you had Onryan in the form that they were in 2 years ago, you could see him win this one. Yeah, well, it's all to be decided this weekend. Those 4 senior football quarterfinals and 2 relegation playoffs as well. Thanks a million, Tony, for dropping in again, and great coverage in Dungarvan Observer this week of all things Waterford GA. Thanks, Tomas.